Man, man, oh man, I can't believe it. How you doing? How you doing? Man, I went on stage again. My sixth time. Lucky number 6. Actually, I don't think that's a lucky number. Maybe 7. We'll see. Man, I went on stage, right? And it just felt like garbage, And I tried to do some jokes on about being bald, no hair. And I did this joke about Britney Spears, how when she shaved her head, everyone thought she was crazy. And how when I shave my head, no one ever comes up to me and is like, "Are you okay? Are you doing okay, buddy?" Yeah, that doesn't happen. But yeah. So I did some jokes. I tried. But it was I started doing some fast food jokes again, right? And I just felt like the audience was just straight faced, just staring at me and then I was like, "Do you guys not eat fast food?" And then one guy, am I talking too loud? Anyways, one guy goes, "A little bit." And I'm just like, "Oh, okay." So then I go, "Okay, how about this? Are you guys fan of pets, dogs, pets?" And everyone's like, "Yeah, yeah." And they clap. And I just go, "I hate dogs." And that actually got my biggest laugh. So then I'm like, "Yeah, I don't like dogs." And then I go, "But I got a dog." And that got a small laugh. And I try to do some dog jokes and they were horrible. Absolutely just bad. I was talking about my dog. It wasn't even... Anyways, there is a good news to this, but you got to get through the bad before you can get through the good. You know what I mean? And I also did some jokes about going to a barbershop, because I did go to a barbershop to get my head shaved. I tried to do some jokes there about how you sit down, the barber was like, "So what are we going to do, boss? What are we doing today?" And it's like, I don't have any options. Why are you asking me that? I'm on 0 options at this point. Of course I want my head shaved, but so that was what I said, but no one laughed, no one cared. And what else did I do? I did and then I was starting to I tried to do a joke about how I shared about this video I watched of another comedian, implying that I'm seeing myself as a comedian. "Hey man, I gotta start somewhere, pal." And so anyways, I was watching this video of this other comedian, and he was making this comment in this interview how he feels like he has to give on this certain image, everything's positive, everything's great, everything's rosy, whatever they say. The world's filled of daisies and sunshine. In the morning he doesn't eat oatmeal, he eats daisy and sunshine. That doesn't make sense. But anyways, his point was, he was like, "Oh, I have to put on this image." And he's like, "One time I tried to do some jokes that showed me displaying some anger, and people were like, oh, what was that? Oh, that's not you." And I'm like, really? That's not you? You don't get angry? Then what are you, a robot? Because I'm sorry, because I think anger is a normal emotion that we exhibit in this world, but we will not always acknowledge the anger. So then I try to, okay, so I said that, and then I was for me, I was I get angry. I get angry when I go to Jack in the Box and I order a Coke and it tastes horrible. No reaction. Just nothing. Nothing. And I'm like, man, this is bad. And I'm like, yeah, this is bad. This is just going bad. Oh, and the other thing that I messed up on, there's still good news at the end of this episode if you listen to this. If you're, I don't know, if you're into comedy, if you're into going on stage, I don't know. I'm just sharing my experience. You know what I'm saying? Just sharing my experience. It's not perfect. Yeah, it's far from it. You know what I'm saying? But I got to share the real journey of the comedian. Okay, anyway, so what else did I say? I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted. What did I say? Oh, I got really angry about the Jack in the Box Coke. Jack in the Box Coke is horrible. No matter whatever Jack in the Box I go to, the Coke is always the same. It's just like the executives are like, we got to save money here. I feel like I talked about this. Maybe I did, but it doesn't matter. Talked about my dog. My dog's scared of the dark, just like me. My dog always whines when she's hungry, just like me. When I try to go to bed, my dog is like exhaling and I feel like she's mocking me or copying me. But the worst part is like that I have to let her out. Anyways, yeah, so I think I did talk about this dog stuff before on a different episode, and then I tried it on stage and it just was like poo-poo-pa-doo. You know what I mean? But so here's the good part though. Here's the good part. I finished, I did the set, I still got experience. And I talked to people about it, you know, like, yeah, I didn't think it really went that well, you know, and I sent people the video, and I talked to I talked to this other guy who's a comedian in London, in the UK. I don't know exactly where he lives, but he's in the UK somewhere in London. I don't know. Maybe not London. I don't know. And anyways, so I've been kind of getting to know this guy. And so like I email him, I'm like, man, I did a gig. It was horrible. He wrote back this email like, man, it's going to be like that. That's part of the journey. You just got to keep going, keep persevering, keep pushing. But then he says, you know, send me if you recorded it, send me the recording and I'll review it for you. So I sent it to him, and he replied back with the audio, like a 15-minute audio of like really good feedback. Really, honestly, really good feedback. He talked about my opening line, and he was positive. He wasn't like, you know what, that was trash, bro. Just don't ever go on stage again. Like he was positive. And he was like, you got to work on your opening line. He's like, you got to turn it into a joke. You can't just be like, hey, how you doing? Good to see you guys. How you doing? Which is what I do. And it's just like my energy is like not good. My energy is low. And if I'm just like, hey, good to see you again, I feel like it's just like, you know what I mean? Another thing he told me was like, soon as they stop clapping, I need to be on the mic and ready to go. And see, I was like messing around trying to record, and I'm walking slow, like, I'll get there when I get there. You know, you guys aren't in a rush, are you? And I got to the microphone like a half hour later. No, anyway, so he talked about that. And then he gave me some really good feedback about some of the jokes. Oh, he was like, you know, he's like, you don't have to connect your jokes. I think that's the thing I was doing. I was getting nervous because I was expecting like laughter at a certain points. And then when the laughter doesn't hit, it's just kind of like, oh, well, okay. And, you know, I got to figure out how to move on. And what I kept doing was I kept going like, well, anyways. And then I tried to go into another joke, and he's like, you got to get rid of that whole anyways. And it's definitely a filler word. That's one of the main reasons of this podcast. I want to get rid of that. I don't want to say anyways. I don't want to say, He's like, you don't have to link your jokes. He's like, one thing you can do is, he's like, you just keep going. And if they don't laugh, you just go right into your next joke with confidence. And he's like, even when you come back with a second joke with confidence, that's funny, because you're going from maybe like a quiet area, like a quiet time in the set, to like, boom, here's my next joke. And so definitely those are things I want to work on. Another really, really key advice, and this might sound, I don't even know who's going to listen to this, okay? If you're like an experienced comedian, you're probably just like, yeah, I've been there, done that. You know, why am I listening to this guy? He's only been on stage 6 times. So no one's going to listen to this if you're an experienced comedian. But if you're maybe like, I don't know. If you're like interested in being a comedian or going up on stage, maybe this is helpful information. So anyways, I'll keep going. So one thing he said is, you know, when you come up with your jokes, he's like, you don't want to have more than one premise before you hit the punchline. And he was like, you know, and you kind of did that. He's like, you talk about how you want to get better at comedy. You talk about the comedian who says he can't be angry on stage. So then you talk about how you get angry, and then you go to Jack in a Box and you get a Coke, and that makes you angry. And then he's like, there's no punchlines there, bro. And I'm just like, all I can say is, you know, he's right. There are no punchlines. You know, what was I expecting? Oh, another joke. I forgot that I mentioned this. I was talking about how one of my sons was like, hey man, let me talk to you. You need to shave your head, bro. Like, don't you think you would look better if you had like a cleaner head? What that means is like there's like no hair, because my hairline starts at like the middle of my head, and then there's a tiny bits of hair there because it's also bald in the back. It's like front and back. And he's like, yeah, I think it's about time to like shave this thing. You know, and I try to, that's not even a joke. That's just a fact. Like he came and said that to me. And then he's like, don't you think you would look better? So here's my response. Oh, I don't know, I guess. And that's what I said on stage. Oh my gosh. What? Oh man, I felt horrible, man. I felt really bad when I drove home after that set. But the good thing is that I got the good feedback from the other comedian. His name's, what am I saying, the other comedian? His name's Jamie Jackson. He lives somewhere in the UK. I don't know the exact city, okay? And anyways, I talked about it before. He's one of the comedians. He's one of the guys that he started his own podcast, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to do that. I'm going to start my own podcast, and I'm just going to talk to myself. And maybe this will help me become a better speaker, where I won't have to say, you know what I mean? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I just went to the store. You know what I mean? I got some milk and some cereal. But guess what? This lady was like, oh, you can get the milk right here. And you can get the expiration date of August 19th. Oh, yeah, get that one, young fella. And I was like, oh, well, there's a 22 here. But it's really not 22. It's actually 22nd. August 22nd. And she goes, oh, you keep that one, young fella. Okay, I don't even know why I'm talking about this. But, I mean, that did happen. But the point is, I'm trying to get away from saying the filler words and getting better at talking. When I talk on here for this episode, it's way more clear, way more fluid, and well, now I'm like stuttering, and it's way more confident, you know. But when I talk on stage, I'm just like, hey guys, good to see ya. Good to be here. So yeah, I'm feeling good. I shaved my head. I'm burka. I'm burka shrimpy. You know, I shaved my head recently, and I'm feeling great, guys. And I actually messed up right at the beginning. I meant to go right into the Britney Spears thing, like, and I said, hey, you remember when Britney Spears shaved her head and everyone thought she was crazy? But I was like, oh yeah, I shaved my head recently. I'm feeling good. And I was like, yeah, I went to, oh, wait, I messed up. Do you know the Muffin Man? No, I didn't say that, but, oh, that's another thing. Jamie Jackson was like, why am I saying his last name? I don't know. That's his last name, but, yeah, so Jamie Jackson's like, yeah, don't ask the audience questions, because what if they say, like when I asked, hey, do y'all remember when Britney Spears shaved her head? And everyone's just, what if they would have been like, no, we don't know her. Who cares? You know, then what? Then I have to like explain it more. So the point is, don't ask the question, because I don't know what kind of answer I'm going to get. I'm in control here. I got the microphone. You ain't in charge. I'm in charge. Of course I'm in Charles. My name is Charles. I hate that. People say that to me all the time. Are you in charge? Yeah, man. Yeah, I've been in charge for 35 years. I just said it. But it's been a good week. It's Friday. Man, I'm glad it's Friday. I really hope this audio came through. Sometimes I'll record on here. Look, man, I'm just using my phone, okay? I don't have a fancy microphone. All right? But sometimes I'll record on here, and sometimes you'll hear me talking, and it's just like, and I went to the store, and it's super muffled. So I'm hoping that this comes in clear. But anyways, I said it again. It's been a good week. I'm very glad it's Friday. I'm looking forward to the weekend, and I want to tweak this last set that I did. Even though it felt really rough, I want to keep the same, because I've never actually done this. I want to keep the same jokes, but make them better. Every other time I went on stage, I always tried like new material, which I think is not good. So I'm going to try to go back and tweak this stuff, take out extra filler stuff, add more punchlines. I tried to do this thing where I went to my uncle and was like, hey, I'm trying stand-up comedy. And how he was like, well, who lied to you and told you were funny, boy? You ain't funny. And I totally like stumbled over it. But it's all right. All right. Well, I think that's enough of that. I hope you like this. I don't even know who's going to listen to this. I mean, it's all about my last set. 6th time on stage. Hope you got something good out of this. Maybe you laughed. I don't know. Maybe you laughed at me making fun of myself from when I was actually on stage. Actually, when I left, I was like so bothered when I was leaving. I was driving home, and that song came on by Billie Eilish, like What Was I Made For? And I was just like, that was horrible. And I'm like thinking back to like the things I was saying. I was just like, I would just want to throw up. All right, on that note, we're out of here. Have a good day.